Shipbuilding today is based on science, and ships are built using computers and sophisticated tools. Shipbuilding in ancient Rome, however, was more of an art relying on estimation, inherited techniques, and personal experience. The Romans were not traditionally sailors, but mostly land-based people who learned to build ships from the people that they conquered.
Merchant ships were built to transport lots of cargo over long distances and at a reasonable cost. They had a wider hull, double planking, and a solid interior for added stability. Unlike warships, their V-shaped hull was deep underwater, meaning that they could not sail too close to the coast. They usually had two huge side rudders located off the stern.
Organic materials like textiles and hides are relatively rare finds at archaeological sites. This is because unless they're protected from the microorganisms that cause decay, they tend not to last long. Extreme cold is one reliable way to keep artifacts relatively fresh for a few thousand years, but once thawed out, these materials experience degradation relatively swiftly.
Farmers and gardeners have known for hundreds of years how responsive plants are to temperature. Warm winters cause many trees and flowers to bud early, something humans have long used to predict weather and harvest times for the coming year. The latest research pinpoints for the first time a molecular mechanism in plants that reacts to temperature, often triggering the buds of spring.
Some plants mainly use day length as an indicator of the season. Other species, such as daffodils, have considerable temperature sensitivity and can flower months in advance during a warm winter. In fact, the discovery of the dual role of phytochromes provides the science behind a well-known rhyme long used to predict the coming season. Oak before ash will have a splash. Ash before oak we're in for a soak.
Look around on your next plane trip. The iPad is the new pacifier for babies and toddlers. Younger school-aged children read stories on smartphones. Older kids don't read at all, but hunch over video games. Parents and other passengers read on tablets or skim a flotilla of email and news feeds.
There's an old rule in neuroscience that does not alter with age: use it or lose it. It is a very hopeful principle when applied to critical thought in the reading brain because it implies choice. The story of the changing reading brain is hardly finished. We possess both the science and technology to identify and redress the changes in how we read before they become entrenched.
Research suggests that allowing people some control over AI decision-making could also improve trust and enable AI to learn from human experience. For example, one study showed that when people were allowed the freedom to slightly modify an algorithm, they felt more satisfied with its decisions, more likely to believe it was superior, and more likely to use it in the future.
Dancing is something that humans do when they want to have a good time. It's a universal response to music, found in all cultures. But what's only been discovered recently is that dancing not only makes us feel good, it's also extremely good for our health. Dancing, like other forms of exercise, releases hormones such as dopamine, which make us feel relaxed and happy.
Another interesting fact about knitting is that because it was practiced in so many parts of the world for so many purposes, regional differences in style developed. This visual identity has allowed researchers to match bits of knitted clothing that have been unearthed over time to the region from which the wearer came or the job that he or she did.